All right. Good morning again. Good morning. Welcome to 14 days of mental repositioning. And like I would always just start with progress is necessary. Movement is very important. So we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 now. We're at 8. That is progress. All right. And that is progress. And I'm happy to have you right here. Really happy to have you right here. And so we have looked at quite a number of things, starting from the second day, a number of it. And I believe that by now you would have begun to see very important and necessary changes that have begun to happen with you. If you have been taking intentional steps, if you have been implementing the things I've been telling you, you should have begun to see them happen. All right, you should have. Yeah, you should have. So what I'm going to also add to this is your, you know, I think I don't know if I mentioned it in day two. If you haven't viewed day two, I think you should. It was like very foundational for all that we are doing right now. So day two was about your mind is a garden, and mind being a garden, not a graveyard. And I was talking about mindset. I explained to you what mindset is. But I think I didn't mention this. There are ways which we develop certain kinds of mindsets. Number one being our environment. All right, our environment, the kind of environment that you grew up in. So that contributes largely to how you would see life, how you would see things. All right, how you would see things. And so another thing that contributes to it is your family upbringing. So what kind of family you came from largely determines the kind of mindsets, your belief system, all right, your belief system, your approach towards certain things, what you believe about different things. Your mindset can come from family upbringing. And then now what we've been focusing on these past days is the third one, which is by your choices. Right now, having known that yes, your family didn't give you the best of my and the best of belief systems as a result of certain biases that they might have had, now you have the onus falls on you to now make that exchange, to take out some and put out what is necessary, to discard inferiority and take upon yourself superiority. So, and that's what we've been doing. That the choice is yours. You choose. You get to choose, right? You get to choose. You have a choice to make. And that's why we're saying think this, not that, because you can. You decide what kinds of thoughts fills your mind and eventually which fuels your actions and ultimately your lifestyle. Right. So today we're looking at think yes, not no. Think yes, not no. And from this, I don't know if you can already infer that I'm referring to possibilities and impossibilities. Possibilities and impossibilities. When you start with children, when children begin to learn to talk, I make a reference to the kids a lot because I see them as a template of originality without much influence, right? Without much influence. When children start to grow at that age, like they just start to live, they start to talk or start to hear you. Now, we we've begun to look at that now. Sorry, I just had a network glitch, so I had a network glitch, so I had to fix that up. All right, because I think we're back now. We're fine now. Okay, so I was saying that the yes mindset is one of possibilities. Is one of possibilities, and no is one of impossibilities. Right. So the yes mindset is one of positivity, and the no is one of negativity, which talks about pessimism. Right, pessimism. So being able to being quick to think of how something will work. All right, and you find out that that happens with kids. The average person had more no's than yes while growing up. So, and I think I've made it clear that by repetition, by the repetition of an action, by the repetitive nature of an action, a mindset is ingrained. And an example I can give you for this is how a path is made in the grass, right? You see that nobody really goes there and, okay, saying, I mean, not in all cases, they go there and they want to clear the path, but by the consistent activity of people's feet going back and forth on that pathway, on that grass, that exact route, a pathway is created. That's exactly how it happens in your brain, and that's the concept of neural pathways. That is, with the consistency of an action, with the repetitive nature of an action, it causes the cells of recognition, a path in your brain. That, okay, whenever it is a trigger comes up, they know this is the path that we're taking. So we find out that as we grow, we have been trained to think of negativities than positivities. So what we want to do today is to look at how can we begin to think yes and not no. Because unknowing to you, you'll be wondering why you have said no to many brilliant ideas. You'll be wondering why you have told yourself no, don't talk, when you should talk, when you should give suggestions. You'll be wondering why you have impulsively thought of how something would not work, even though you have planned. For some people, it can be so extreme that you plan and plan and plan and plan, and at the end of your plan, you just say, no, this is not going to work, when you've not even executed. Or maybe you find it easy to it's like you have something called a confirmation bias, where because you're already your default state is to think that, oh, something is not going to work, so you look for somebody who confirms that by saying, asking them a question in a way that confirms your bias. So you say, oh, I've been planning this thing, but I don't think it's going to work. What do you think? You've already suggested to them that it's not going to work, because that's how you see things. So I'm saying that you must learn to start thinking of possibilities than impossibilities. Start thinking, how can it be done, not can it be done. And then let's look at that. If you've grown up amidst obstacles, it will be very easy for you to impossibly think impossibilities. And what that simply means is that if you've grown up in an atmosphere where you were consistently met with obstructions, where it was, I mean, as you tried and tried, things, it kept hitting the rock, that can ingrain a mindset in you. If you've consistently experienced defeat, you're more susceptible to this than others, because you have experience, right? But then, do you know something? You were naturally wired to think of possibilities. How do I know this? A child, again, no one ever teaches trains them and say, okay, oh yeah, guy, it's time to walk. But then you find out that they start crawling, 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 and then you find out that they try to stand. Why are they doing that? I'm going to explain to you. It's a possibility mindset. You've never done it before, and then you're seeing it being done by others, and you feel, oh, I can do this too. Doesn't that tell you something? Yes, it does. That you are naturally wired to think of possibilities. You're naturally wired to think of how something. Matter of fact, that's why we have gotten here. You're thinking, with the many technologies that we have, knowing fully well that they were absent in the times of our forefathers. So you're thinking, how on earth were they able to survive? It's because of a possibility mindset. We're thinking of, how can we make this thing work? Okay, we have something we want to do. How can we make this work for us? Because you realize Dangote cement wasn't in existence about 100, 200 years ago. It wasn't in existence. So how were they building houses? They knew we had to live in houses. So they found out a way. They found a way to do it. They went all out to get it done. And they were testing materials. Sometimes I think of, how were they able to come up with this kind of combination, particularly when it comes to food. I'm thinking, how did they know that if you fry this, it's going to taste like this, but if you boil it, it's going to taste like this. If you steam it, it will taste like this. So it was that, I talked about think curiosity, not conformity. It was that curiosity, that sponsoring, okay, we can do this, we can get this done. And that is necessary in order to build a possibility mindset. Very important. So the average person has earned more no's than yes who grown up. So now let's look at it. How can you have a yes mindset? How can you build a yes mindset? How? How can you build a yes mindset? Let's look at it. Number one, you're not allowed to say no until you have given it a try. You've given it your best try. Even if you've given it your best try, still give it another try. And this means that you must change how you view failure. Failure is not the ultimate end of a thing, but it's like it's showing you what routes won't work. That's all failures. It is showing you how something will not work. So once you know, okay, it's not going to work like this, try another way. That's how you have electricity today. Sorry, that's how you have the light bulb. So giving it a first try, then another try, then another try. Failure is not the end of your adventure. No, when you're walking on the road, you either determine if it's the end or if it's a bend. So if you get to a particular point and you don't see a way forward, you determine if that's the end or if it's a bend. You know that thing they say that the end of the road is not usually the end, it could also be a bend. It could turn right. So failure is one way something won't work. So what do? Find another way. You must think, how can I get this done? So you're not allowed to say no until you have given it your best try. The worst thing you can do is to not have even brought an idea to limelight before you killed it. Just like abortion. And in the world of ideas, you're a criminal. That's like abortion. You've not even allowed this idea to live. You've already killed it in your mind. You didn't even tell anybody about it. You didn't even talk about it. But just because in your own limited mindset, your limited belief system, based on the kinds of exposure that you've had or your experiences you've had, even as valid as they may seem to be, well, you just kill them. You just extinguish those ideas. And that's not fair enough. Right? That's not fair enough. So you must learn to give things a try before you say, oh no, this is not going to work. Think about the Wright brothers. Imagine they came up with an idea, something has never been done before. Never been done. And perhaps peradventure you are a very creative person, someone who is very like ideas spark here and there. Listen, I'm trying not to jump ahead of myself. Right. So they haven't seen those things done before, but they had a concept and they thought to share it. Oh, we want to do this. And what were they receiving? Oh, you guys are not fine. You guys are not okay. How is that going to happen? Was it done? Yes. So that it has not been done before does not mean that it can't be done. Every single thing that you see being done today had an initial point where it seemed like a mirage. Now we can look at airplanes. It's normal. It's normal. It's no longer a big thing for you to build airplanes. But now someone takes it a step further and says, I'm going to build a plane that is going to fly between New York and the UK in 30 minutes. I'm wondering, what kind of human being is that? And that's because people are thinking, okay, what better ways can we do this? You have trains that go underground and move at the speed of a jet. It's like a plane on the ground. So that is how people are thinking, and that's how you should think. How better can it be? Is there a better way it can be done? I'm the kind of person who, first off, because I don't like stress, I always look for the easiest way to get things done, not the laziest way. There are different things entirely. The easiest way, how can we mash up processes? How can we reduce the cumbersome nature of this activity? How can we let it not be this much? And so when I'm saying a lot of, I'm just, for the first few minutes before I get to work, I'm thinking, how can we do this better? Okay, do we need to get a trolley? Do we need to? So I'm thinking, how can we get this done? So you're not allowed to say, number one rule in developing a yes mindset, you're not allowed to say no until you have given it a try. So number two, say yes even before you think no. Say yes even before you think no. Listen, if you give your mind the opportunity, you don't hold your mind as a cart tied to horses, you will find out that you naturally just tilt towards negativity until you intentionally choose to drive your mind in the direction it's supposed to go. You naturally tilt towards negativity. So say yes even before no. Now remember, we're not talking about what we are looking at here is the concept of possibility and impossibility. So do not take thinking yes and no out of this context. Right? So I'm not asking you to say yes to everything that happens. No. We're looking at the context of possibility and impossibility. So say yes even before you think no. Say yes. So you're someone, maybe they bring up an idea to you. Oh yes, let's see, it can be done. Because when you say yes, what have you done? You have opened the channel, you've opened the doors for much more ideas to flow in. So even if there is a fault with that initial idea, you can begin to improvise on better ways that it can be done. So you say yes before you say no. So you have a business plan. You have an idea, a creative idea. Say yes. So it might just be you need to tweak and change some things here and there. So say yes before you think no. Another thing to get done in order to develop a yes mindset is to think this. How can I do it? Not can I do it? So ask the right question. How can I do it? How can I do it? So there's something that you've been trying to get done. Think, how can I do it? Not can I do it? Can I do it already places a limitation on your capabilities. But when you say how can I do it, now it's no longer about me not going to me, I'm going to do it, get it done. But now I'm thinking, how can I do it? What's the best way possible to get this done? On anything. It can even be as something as little as something on your to-do list. How can I do it? Because everything can be learned. How can I do it? Right? So number 3 is to think, what way can I make it work? Not look for why it won't work. What way can I make it work? Not think of why it won't work. So you find people it's easy to pick out why something is not going to work. And I can understand maybe you being a very critical person, wanting to ensure that there's no fault. I get you. But if you keep doing that, you stifle creativity. So you stifle a possibility mindset. So you are fishing out, okay, what way can it work? What way? How can we make it work? How? How can we make this thing work? How? Not while looking for why it's not going to work. If you're looking for why something is not going to work, there's going to be a lot of reasons. Now, number four rather, is it number four now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number five, draw out the positives and miss the negatives and zoom in on that. Draw out the positives and miss the negatives and zoom in on that. So look for the positive. What I'm trying to say is be optimistic. Be optimistic. Be optimistic. Have a positive mindset regarding those situations. Think of the positives and miss the negatives. Do not be quick to fish out every negative. Don't be a pessimistic person. Pessimism is very, very dangerous, and it's uncomfortable to stay around someone who is pessimistic. They'll kill too many things. They'll quench the vibe. You come with excitement, they kill it, they strangle it. So don't be a pessimistic person. Be optimistic. Be open. Be open. Now, number 6 here is to have a learner's mindset. Have a learner's mindset. Now, you think about something, or something is brought to you that hasn't been done. Do not just say, "Oh, I haven't done this before, I can't do it." It's not possible. Learn. Okay, check. Has it been done? Okay, how is it done? Okay, how can I get it done? Look for materials. Go after knowledge. Have a learner's mindset, a learner's approach towards those new genius ideas. Think of, okay, where can I get resources from? Do I need to ask people questions? Do I need to go here? Do I need to check there? Have a learner's mindset, right? Now, number 7 is, I think, yeah, number 7, right? Number 7 is to give yourself the right exposure. Give yourself, if you're surrounded with negativity, you would think about negativity. But something you want to do is to give yourself the right exposure. Now, I don't imagine somebody who stays in the Silicon Valley, maybe a child growing up, comes up with an idea, he tells his father. He's not going to quench. He say, okay, that's good. So what can we do? What do you need? So are you seeing that kind of support? So like it opens you up much more to ideas, to innovations. So you want to start thinking, give yourself the right exposure. Give yourself the right exposure. Exposure can be physically or it can be virtual. It depends. However it is, and it doesn't have to be an either situation. You can have both. So expose yourself to places where you're seeing those things work. So that way your mindset is being detoxified you're detoxing your mindset from negativity to positivity, from impossibility to impossibility. Now, above all that has been said, remember, it is always those who believe that have all things possible to them. In the words of Jesus, it says, all things are possible to him that believes. All things are possible to him that says yes. All things are possible to him that says yes. If you say it can be done, it can be done. If you say it's, that statement, if you say you can, you can. If you say you can't, you can't. So you find out that it's up to you. It's up to you. So rather than look for people to blame or look for systems to, people could say a lot of things about, Nigeria. oh, these things are not going to work in Nigeria. But then I find a fault with that. Like there are people getting this thing done here. If you have some business, I know, and I'm not trying to dispute that. Yes, there's a lot of things wrong with the economy. I agree with you on that, but not to the point of absolutely eradicating the possibility of things happening. There are people getting this thing done here. You don't have to travel out to get it done. There are people doing it here. So you just have to figure it out. Figure it out. Find out how. Be one person who would find it out. Find it out. Find it out. It hasn't been done. Find it out. Look for how. There is always a way. You know, it's something I tell myself. There is always a way. There's always a way. There is always a way. You know, one thing that one of the places I picked up this mindset was from the movie. I don't know if I can remember this movie now, but it was a movie of magicians. I'm sure it was a popular movie at that time. I can see some people watching. If you know that movie, you can help me. It was a movie about magicians. Them, is it Now You See Me? I think that's it. Also, I can't remember now. And then one of the guys who would always say, he said things like, nothing is ever locked. So there was a padlock, a gate they wanted to pass through, and it was locked. They were about turning back. He said, nothing is ever locked. So it just depends on how you see it. And so the same thing, there's always a way. There's always a way. There is always a way. So I want you to always say that to yourself, that there is always a way. There'll always be a way. I'll always figure it out. I'll always figure it out. I'll always find out how to get it done. That's me. I'll always find out how to get it done. I'll always look for a way it will be done. I'll never be stranded. I would always find out how it will be done. All right. So if you have heard me to this point, I want to let you know that you have the ability and the capabilities to bring those brilliant things to life. Yes, it's possible. Do not allow the circumstances or situations deprive you of the possibility of those brilliant things that you have been having in your mind. So write those things down. Whenever an idea comes to you, I have an idea book. You know, I have a number of journals. Whenever things pop in my head, I quickly just pen them down. That's how you trap those things. That's also a way of emphasizing yes. So you don't just think about it and if you're that kind of person, many things will slip off your hands. So you don't want to do that. All right. So if you heard me to this point, can I see your response? Just type, I think yes, not no. I think yes, not no. I think yes, not no. All right. Just as we wrap up today, I want you to know that you have the honors. The honors falls on you, right? You have the autonomy to decide what life you live. You're the one who chooses, right? You're the one who decides how it's going to go by the kinds of mindset and belief systems you are embracing. So do not be unwilling to bend when you find out that you are in the wrong, all right? Do not stay in the place where you know it's not working, you know it's not giving you the result you need, but just because of orthodoxy or because you claim you are dogmatic, you are someone who is fixed on, you are a fixed person. See, let me tell you, that's going to tamper with a lot of things. So have a growth mindset always, and you find yourself get better. All right, so tomorrow we're going to consider another comparison. I'm sure you don't want to miss this. I know this was very helpful to you, but eventually this is your first. There's already a playlist I've created. So from day 1 to day 5, I haven't uploaded day 6. I'll do that today, and then day 7. We'll do that, and then you have access to the 8 to watch these things. But eventually you didn't watch from the beginning. It's going to help you a lot. All right, and trust me, I'm doing the best. Let me not say the best, but okay, in my capacity to ensure that I always give you all these things up until the 14th day. It's not the easy, it's not the best, it's not as easy as you see it. But then there's a whole lot of things just put in place to ensure that you have this. All right. So please stay tuned to the Telegram channel. I'm going to be uploading quotes from today so you can repost them and then just sensitize other people to be a part of it as well. All right. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you've watched this and you're not subscribed, please do so. Please give this video a like. All right. And when I'm done posting, please, you can just comment. When you see the video uploaded, I'll put it on the channel. So when you see the video uploaded, try to comment so that the engagements on this get better. Right, I'm going to be more present here on YouTube than on any other social media app. So you guys are kind of like the first persons to see all these things. It's going to get better as we go forward, like I always say. I know that. I'm convinced of that. I'm not trying to talk myself into it. I'm very certain about that. All right, so we're going to see you tomorrow. I'm the Rabbi, your number 1 cheerleader, and till we see you tomorrow, stay close. Have a great day. Make sure that if you don't have your day planned yet, please do that. Write down some things. Write them out. And peradventure now there are things you've said no to. It's time to go back to them and start finding out how to get them done. All right, take care.